All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. If you're on the West Coast, it is February 21st, Sunday. This is Eric from TopFlight Trades. This is the weekend stock review. This is the weekend review where I look at some stocks and see how we did last week and what we can anticipate for next week. So that's what's going on. Sorry I was gone last week. I don't remember where I was, what was going on. We've been pretty busy with some other projects here and couldn't get back to do the video in time. A lot of what's going on with the market right now is we're up 3 days here this last week, and then finally Friday we got markets were down, but it was strongest week this year, I think, for the markets. So pretty much for my positions, I've just pretty much been holding tight and riding this out and pretty much expecting the movement. So that's what's going on. So let me take a look at a couple things here. We're going to jump right on in, take a look and see how the markets did. So let me jump on over to the screen share and pick it up. All right. So let's take a look here. Okay. So here's S&P Spider. So where are we? Here's the start of January right here. So obviously we started the year off and pretty much just fell down to the support area here. Really quickly, let me recap again. If I back this out, you can see this weekly support goes all the way back to 2009. Here we go, 2009, 2012, 2011, and so on. You can see we've come down to this area right now. So on the weekly chart, you could say, hey, we're all right. We're still an upward trend, right? So far on the weekly anyways. Jump into the daily, you can see that's what this line is. This shows that support area, and we actually broke through it, but popped right back up. So if you know me and my plays, I'm bearish in the markets. I've been bearish since approximately June 19th. It goes back to, where were we? Back in here. Failed to make a new high, and I started picking up some short positions, some puts on the options side, and that's done really well. And that's still my attitude because we fail to make higher highs. Until we start to make higher highs, then I'm still sitting by that, and I'm still positioned in that way. So here we are today. So you can see here in January, top of the year, we collapsed right on down to the support area. Then you can see February. Where's February? Right at the last week or so of January, we popped a little bit. February started, we pulled right back down again, broke through that support area. And then here in the last week, I'm trying to recover a bit. You can see I have a couple lines here. This one in particular, this last week. See if we're going to come up and pop through it. And you can see we came up and hit it. You can see it's, for the most part, pretty consistent there. Watching that. And then, of course, my other longer term resistance that I saw was up here on these highs here. It's not exact, but you get the idea. And we have all the moving averages. So I see a lot of resistance above for this thing to climb back up. The market's really going to have to get some really good news and some confidence. And I'm just not seeing it yet. And the numbers overall, the numbers are showing it that, the economy is not doing well right now. The outlook is not good. I am a little cautious when I read that, though, because I don't buy the news. When I hear that kind of stuff, I think the opposite sometimes. So. But anyways, here's the chart. So, yeah, so we'll see how we do this next week. So again, I'm watching this area right here. For me to really expect to get a pop out of this and a play up to this area, I want to see some new highs. I want to see it get above 193 here, at least, maybe even this area. Yeah, 194. I mean, yeah, I'm just not seeing it. So, but you never know. We can get some nice growth out of this thing, just like we did back here. But we'll see. Let's take a look at the Dow. All right. Same kind of thing. This did come up to this area here. You can see, kind of made a new high there off that point. Not very strong, but you get the idea on the Dow. Pretty much looking about the same. You can see the linear regression channel we have here drawn in. It is downward sloping. We're at the bottom of the channel. So you might say, hey, you could get a pop out of that up to these areas at this level up in here. And that definitely could be the case. I'm just not seeing it. But yeah, so that's the Dow, and then what's NASDAQ? Here's NASDAQ. So same kind of thing. I kind of see. What do I see here? Something like that. And of course, we have this similar resistance area I drawn up here to see if we can get a bounce and come back up to this level. And obviously, we had broken down. So I'm watching this area right here. So let's see how we do here with this guy. Keep an eye on that. I think we're going to continue to fall back down this next week. So, hey, let's take a look at oil real quick. Now, a lot of the stocks I'm playing are energy-based, oil-based companies. And so they move a lot with oil. Okay. And oil's done really well. Really well for me. But of course we get, like last week, this thing popped a little bit. So that's, when I get those, I see this channel and I expect movement in here. Now, of course, when coming down to here, I wanted to come down to the bottom of the channel, but this was where we started hearing about talks of oil production cuts, which ended up being rumors of a freeze, which nothing is solidified now. And now that news is old news. And I'm guessing that we're going to continue to fall this next week in oil. But we are pretty much at the top of the channel there. This was last week, and now I'm expecting this to ride on out. I don't think oil is going to start to find new highs and start climbing up, at least up above 10. I don't see that right now. But you never know. We could get magical news. One thing I did learn is that oil pre-sanctions produced about 2.5 million barrels a day. And right now they're at 1.1 million barrels a day. And so they want to get those levels back up. And the deal that we heard about with oil, Iran and Iraq had to agree to cut production. And if they did, the rest of the other nations that talked, that met, was Venezuela, Russia, Saudi Arabia, they agreed that they would if Iran and Iraq were on board. And Iran and Iraq said they supported it, but they didn't commit to anything. And besides, it's only a freeze, not really necessarily cutting production. But so I think that good news will pass, and that just shows why we got a pop here, and I expect this thing to continue to fall down. And if it doesn't, then I will make adjustments to my positions to properly cover that move. So pretty interesting. So definitely keep an eye on oil there. And that's what I'm thinking with oil. Hey, I want to run through a few stocks here that I am watching for this next week. These are ones I plan to enter. Depending how the market does on Monday. If the market's red tomorrow on Monday and things look good, I plan to enter these. I'm not sure which ones and when, but I have about looks like about 12 stocks here. And I won't enter all of them, but these are the ones that have hit my list, and I'll be looking for the right opportunities with them. And of course, I'll be posting these over at InvestFeed. Over at InvestFeed, I haven't entered a lot of positions over there in the last couple weeks here. Kind of not really liking the action here. We're kind of all over the place. I mean, look at the S&P here. You see, we're just kind of got this W. This people even call it double bottom. I don't think I'm going to call it a double bottom, but this pattern here. So ultimately, we're just kind of trading in this range right here, right now. Not getting a lot of movement. So a lot of my positions I'm holding tight. Yeah, so that's that. So let's take a look at a few of these that I'm looking at right now. So one of these right now is ATI. Let me back out a little bit and you can kind of see what I'm looking at here. All right. Pretty straightforward here. You can see come up to this level right here. Let me draw this in here. Yeah. As you may know, when it comes to drawing support and resistance, I pretty much like working the bodies of the candles. I don't worry too much about the wicks. And it's never perfect. But anyways, so that's why you'll see I don't follow the wicks. A lot of people draw, you see this right here. A lot of people draw this way up here like that. It just never seems to work. I like the bodies. Open and close. So anyways, you can see we've come up to this area here, hit this resistance. We bounced off. We're pretty much supporting and respecting the linear regression, the downward sloping linear regression here right now. Yeah, and I do own some puts in this one right now, but I do like this position. I might enter more right now. I got in back over here, and I did not sell. I think I sold some back in here, but I pretty much scaled out in what I left remaining was just profits. So I still hold a position, and I own July puts for ATI, July $10 puts. So I intend to keep those, and I might enter more tomorrow. Again, I'm all profit. Oh, and then take a look at this. You get the 100-day moving average right here. Look at that. Let me zoom in. Yeah, right there. What do you know? Perfect. So I like to set up for ATI right now. I will likely enter more. Add some positions to ATI. Pier 1. What do we got going here? Okay, here's Pier 1. Pier 1, same kind of setup. Downward sloping linear regression channel. We're at the top of it. You can see we got the 50-day moving average right there. We just closed right above it, though. So we'll keep an eye on that. See what kind of action we get out of this next week. It's pretty low priced stock right now. It's currently at $4.73. Volume's good at 2.3 million average shares per day. So that's good. So yeah. And again, if I get into this, I'll purchase a put. And I like to purchase my puts approximately 100 days out. Usually not much less anymore. I used to have it at least 50 days and 75 days, kind of in that area. And some of these, if the timing is not right, it's all in the timing of the action. You can get, it can expire while it's on the upside. But ultimately, these stocks will continue to head downward. So really, the more time you buy, the better, really. Because you go back and look at all these stocks that we play. I mean, sure, you get a few that go against you, but most of them continue downward. And it's just the up and the down movement in the channel that you need to basically pretty much time or, start taking profits earlier. But anyways, I prefer 100 days on out plus. So in that case, where we're looking at, we'd be looking at July or so. In this case, I'd probably buy a $5 put for like July. So I'm pretty confident this is going to fall back down. I don't think we're going to find new highs above 520. I certainly don't think we're going to be all the way up here at 7s. So I like this here. And I wait for the break underneath the 50-day there. So that's Pier 1, PIR. Next, we have Joy Global. Okay, I've been in this a few times. Yeah, let me see here. I don't have all my notes on here anymore. But Joy's been a really good one for me this year. I don't think I played this whole downward slide. Or maybe I did. That was back in June. Yeah. Anyways, we're over here right now. So this is where we're at right now. Let's see. I just sold some Joy. I had some April puts I sold for a 40% profit, which I'll definitely take any day. That's what my box is here. So I don't have the date when I sold, but it was probably down in this area here. Let me get rid of that box. So anyways, again, the opportunity rises for Joy again. We have earnings in 11 days. So let's see how this is going to look here. 8-cent loss estimate. What was it earlier? Oh, geez, 42-cent estimate. And they beat it by a penny, which made it pop a little bit. But now they're looking at 8-cent loss. Could be an interesting play there. Let me see here. Kind of one thing I'll be watching is kind of this right here. Of course, if this is down Monday, we're going to fail this break through this area here. We'll kind of keep an eye on that. But I'm kind of curious to see how we go going into earnings here. So right now, Joy's at $12.03. I like that one. I like that play. And I kind of think about it too. I've made some good money on Joy, so all I'm going to be doing is playing with my profits that I've already achieved with Joy. So I'm really not out anything if I look at it that way. But yeah, so that's Joy. So looking pretty good there, I think. Next we have TWI, Titan. Okay, obviously, let's see here. Let me get rid of this here. This is currently a play at InvestFeed, and I'm thinking about adding more. So, kind of what I was saying too, InvestFeed. Well, I forgot what I just said. I got in at 9s, so I got in back in here somewhere. Did InvestFeed back in August, September. Now, obviously, this thing goes up and goes down, plays up, down. Right now, it's up. But overall, this thing will continue to head down. I know that's the most genius statement of the year, but when you buy these stocks, you just kind of got to hold on and set your parameters there. You kind of got to know where you want the stock to go. You have to give it room to run. And I kind of think about it as you're turning your horses out to pasture. You have a fence, you have an area, you create some boundaries where you expect the horses to run. And outside that, if they cross the fence, well, then you got problems. But you have to allow them to run around a little bit. And so as long as the horses are running around in your pasture and they're inside the fence, you don't have to worry. So I kind of think about it that way, but I take more of a long-term vision. Now, certainly if I get a nice drop out of it like this, I'll take some profits real quick and scale out pretty good and probably even hold on. And then again, I'll change my position. Well, not change my position, but I'll keep an eye on it to see if this thing's going to get a real pop out of it. Or is it going to continue to drop just like this? So we really kind of got to maintain a long-term vision, and I think that's important. And what's funny is I'm looking more at a long-term vision. Like I said, I've kind of bumped up my options up to 100 plus days, and I'm finding that to be real optimum for me. And I may sell after 20 days if it makes a nice move like this, and I get a real nice profit out of it. I'll take it and wait for the next opportunity. So you look at TWI, say back in here, top of this channel. Now linear differently back when it was up here. I'm sure it included, of course, this area here. So at that time, this area right here was top of that channel, and it quickly fell to the bottom of the channel. Well, what do you know? We're back at that area now, top of the channel. I like it. You got the 50-day moving average right underneath it for support. I don't think we're going to get it unless they do something magical in earnings in 4 days. So that's TWI. Currently priced at 383. It's too low for me for options. And the average volume is only 621,000 shares. It's a little too low for me as well. But I like the setup. So if you're shorting, it could be good. You can get some quick percentages out of this. Then we have CNX. Okay, I'm currently holding CNX, but I like where it's at right now. I have some April puts on this, and I've already been in and out of this a couple times. Yeah, CNX. So what do I have? I have April puts here. Where did I buy? Okay, I got them back in here. And now we're over here. So here's my target. Here's my window I'm pretty much looking for. So so far, so good still. I'm still playing this. I still like it. Failed to make a new high here. You can see we're just coming up to this level here. Actually, you can see we poked on through the previous high right here. I got the resistance drawn in right there. Poked on through, popped on through. So we did make a new high, but I'm still not worried about it. Let me draw this here then. Okay, so that's where we're at. I'm still in it, and I will take some profits when I get them. So CNX, I'm keeping an eye on that one for additional opportunities. Then we have Navistar. Okay, I kind of like this one too. This might have a little bit more room to grow. We have earnings in 9 days. Looking for a 75-cent loss. Geez, previous it was a 58-cent profit gain per share, and boy, things really turned around for this outfit. Not good. So what's that tell me? Well, their fundamentals are really turning rotten, and that's good if you're shorting this. This one's currently at 781. Volume is good at 2 million shares per day average. Consumer cyclical. Thank you. Earnings in 9 days. Yes. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. You see, we were just close beneath the 50-day. Let me zoom in. You can see it right there. I don't have it drawn very boldly, but we got the 50-day there. Kind of probably pulled right on back out. So I'm expecting this thing to go. With earnings, who knows what the heck's going to happen. Earnings plays are just a dice roll to me. Anyways, I like that one. Then we have, what is this, Barnes & Noble. Barnes and Noble. What do we see here? Okay, so this is kind of what I see. I see a couple things here. This thing likes to trade sideways, and the earnings likes to fail, right? There, 16 down to 11s. From what do we got? 12s down to 10s, 9. Here we go again. Actually, when are earnings coming up? We're going to be coming up here soon. Probably here in a month or so. Anyways, this thing likes to trade sideways, doesn't it? So I kind of like that we're kind of up to the resistance here right now. How was their earnings? 31-cent loss expectations. Oh my gosh, look at that. Estimate was 12 cents per share, and the actual was 68 cents loss. That's crazy. Okay, so anyways, yeah, I don't really like the action, but what I do like about this though is you can kind of see we kind of get this could look bullish in a lot of ways if it starts making new highs, certainly. But I don't think the fundamentals are going to be there with them. But the other thing I see is they're not finding new highs. That's the thing, is this thing doesn't have any strength to even, climb the channel necessarily. Here this last week, the market did a little bit, but we're not really working this channel, zigzagging up, down, up, down. It's just trading sideways. It's just got no strength. And we can see how easily it falls. So, and we're up here at resistance right now. We're at the top of the channel, I suppose. This could be a good entry point at $8.64. Average volume is 1.7 million, so we got good volume on it. So that's BKS. Next, we have pharmaceutical, PGNX. I don't play pharmaceuticals too much. They're just too wild. Actually, one of my first trades ever was a pharmaceutical. One of my first options trades. I think it was the first option trade, and it popped 440% like in 3 days. And I thought I wasn't sure what the heck was going on, but I liked it. But it can go the other way just as fast. So I don't play pharmaceuticals too much. Looking at this here, of course, you see we've come up to the 50-day moving average here. We're starting to curl off it a little bit, but we still got some room up above. 50-day moving averages aren't very strong to me. So we'll kind of see what this does. Earnings in 29 days. We're looking for a 14-cent loss. And that's what the actual was last quarter. So, yeah, not too confident in this one. But, okay. And we have, Vail. Nice, good volume here. We got 23 million shares. Oh, it's priced at $2.94. So not much room for me and with options or anything, but we got earnings in 4 days. Looking, what did that say, a 3 cent? 3 cent. Something's crawling up my leg. Hold on a second. I'm going to make, last time it happened, I had a bee, a hornet climbing up my leg last spring. He was coming out for springtime and he didn't have any strength. And all right, there's no bee. I'm in good shape. All right. Anyway, sorry about that. So here's Vail. I just like to set up. We got earnings soon. You could get a real pop out of this. Yeah. Yep. Again, failing to make new highs. If I were bullish on this, I'd want to see it get back up to at least 350. I don't think we're going to hit it though. Do you have the 100-day moving average just above? So if this thing did take off, it'd probably come up to that same area right there and probably hit resistance at the 100-day moving average. So we'll see. Curious how earnings are next week. That's Vail. Then we have Juno Therapeutics. Okay. Basically, this is kind of a little bit different setup. You see we got a nice pop out of the RSI down here. I think we're going to run out of steam here. We got the 50-day moving average. This thing's swooping down right here, and we're hitting it. But, of course, we still have room in the channel here. This thing could come right on up and pop back up to 42 here, even 43 or more, obviously. So there still is room in the channel here. But we've had a lot of green days here. I'm looking for a little bit of red. So Earnings is in 24 days. We're looking for a 54-cent loss. And that was the actual last quarter. So we'll see with Juno. Then we have ICPT. Okay. Geez, earnings in 2 days. I didn't see earnings were so close in a few of these. Oh, look at that. 3-cent loss per share. I'm sorry, $3.17 loss per share. That's crazy, but it is priced at $128 right now. Volume is low, fairly medium to low at 686,000 shares per day. So, yeah. Let me take a look here. Let me just draw a couple things here. Kind of, what do we got here? See something like that. Yeah, see, we could come right back up to 137 before it turns. Then again, we could hit earnings, and that's quite a $3.17 loss. It'll probably beat it, and this thing will take off. Who knows? It's earnings. So that's what I had. So those are the ones I'm watching this next week. So again, you got ATI, got Pier 1, PIR, have Joy, TWI, CNX, NAV, BKS, and the ones I'm not very confident in, PGNX, Vale, VALE, Juno, ICPT. So those are the ones I'm watching this next week. I will probably enter some of those at InvestFeed, and just depends on what the play is on Monday morning. So we'll be watching the Asian markets this evening, see how they do. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I have for today. Let me see what's going on here. Okay. So, yeah. All right, there we are. So sorry it's a shorter video today. Geez, we're in just under half an hour. That's actually good. I like to keep this thing, videos a little shorter. So, hey, come on over to InvestFeed if you're not over there yet. We got a lot of good people over there, a lot of traders. If you want to learn about trading, come on over there. There's a lot of people with some really, really good performance records, and you can really learn a lot from them. I like InvestFeed a lot better than StockTwits. StockTwits is pretty noisy. A lot of StockTwits. I always complain about StockTwits. I still go over there sometimes, but when more people are more interested in calling tops and bottoms than they are with actually making money, you know, it's just amazing. With oil, I mean, geez, again, you look at oil and it's all people post. This is the bottom. This is the bottom. And then they say it again in 2 weeks. This is the bottom. This is the bottom. And it's like, it's all they care about is not making money. But then they go back and say, 7 weeks ago, I called Barnes & Noble was a top and I was right. And okay, good. You were right 1 out of 1,000 times. I mean, just make money. Forget, throw your ego out the window. All right. Anyways, that's my little rant about that. But anyways, come on over to InvestFeed. You don't really have a lot of that noise over there. And again, we got a lot of people over there, a lot of professionals, a lot of people have good, solid records, are making money, and they're very helpful in teaching and helping you make money as well. So come on over, join the crew. Of course, it's free, and to join, sign up. And then there are premium feeds that you can subscribe to on any of the traders that you can see there. After you look at their trading histories and performance, you can make that decision and go from there. So, yeah, I think that's about it, folks. So I hope you have a good trading week this coming week. Keep an eye on oil, keep an eye on the markets, keep an eye on the world markets, of course, and the political and economic uncertainty that I feel is pretty strong. I feel that a lot, but it's going to hit the markets again one of these days. We're going to have another little drop, I'm afraid, but hopefully not, because I got other money tied. I'm bullish in a lot of ways as well. I'm not, I'm invested in some, my retirement funds and that are, where I don't really have much room with them, are stuck, and they're definitely bullish. Certainly. I want them to be bullish anyway. So thanks a lot for watching, folks. We'll look for you later. This is Eric at TopFlight Trades. Have a good weekend. Thanks.